I didn't know why you guys were. I thought I said it weird.
That's why I was like,
Yeah, you're saying
I was like, you
Because it's a shrimp boil.
it's a bowl.
It's a shrimp bowl.
You know, like how you like
Is this the intro?
say ol? It's like bowl.
No, because I say boil.
You boil water, you boil shrimp.
I am not from the South.
You can't. You have
I'm
to.
Nora, and I am from the Midwest. We boil the shrimp.
It's bowl, and we noticed that you're from the Midwest. Hi everyone, welcome to He's Just the Plot. This is a podcast where we talk about book boyfriends and are they healthy or are they unhealthy? And my name's Alyssa. I'm one of your co-hosts.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nora. Turns out I've been saying shrimp boil wrong.
You have. It's bowl.
And you'll find out more as we discuss Lost and Lassoed, a book worth reading. Being up front, this episode has some cussing in it because that's the only way to be a real cowboy in these here parts.
Yes, sir. I love me a good cowboy.
Tell me more. Tell me what happens. What's happening in this book? Give me a plot.
So Teddy is the spice to everyone's life. She's the main character of the book, but she feels less than spicy lately. So she's kind of going through a little bit of a rough patch. While she loves her small town, Meadowlark in Wyoming, she doesn't want to move. She is feeling really stuck. So I think she's also feeling this place where like a lot of her friends are starting to like move forward with their lives, and she expected herself to be there and she's just not there yet. And so she's the primary caregiver to her beloved aging father. Her best friend is getting married. She just lost her job and her sewing machine died.
That sucks. Honestly, that's a lot.
A lot of unfortunate events. So girl just can't catch a break for the summer. So especially when she's convinced to do a part-time job for her best friend's older brother.
Hot.
She ends up being a nanny for his daughter. And the best friend's older brother's name is August Ryder. They call him Gus, is his nickname.
Hot.
And he's basically her like arch nemesis. It talks like, I think in the other books as well, they're like kind of like back and forth banter. It's not even banter. It's just like mean
bickering.
Yeah. It's like mean comments to each other.
But the like undertone for anyone who reads romance is like, yes,
I want
chemistry.
more.
Yeah.
They're going to end up together.
They have to end up together.
So while his cute kid Riley has taken space in Teddy's heart, will Riley's father be able to find a place there as well? Find out in Lost and Lassoed. Also spoilers ahead, I'm sure.
Yes. Thank you. Otherwise, we forget constantly. Spoilers ahead. So for those who said, wow, that sounds like a really interesting read and I want to read it, catch you when you finish. Tune back in then. I think it took me 3 days.
I think it took me a week to read.
You have a lot going on,
Yeah.
I need distractions. This is what I have going on in my life.
But you had talked about his name being hot, and I literally put a star. I said, love the names in the book.
Good names.
Good names.
I read a book recently that didn't have good names, and because I was like on this belief that basically everyone in books now have really good names. Like, Kit was a good name.
Oh, yeah, Kit was a good name.
What's the
Dante.
Dante. Yeah, that was a good name.
That was a good one.
But our next episode, we'll talk about not good names. But this guy, Gus is a good name. August. That's a strong name. August fucking Ryder. And I mean that in the biblical sense. Wow. Yeah. Just to give us a little more about August, he is our male lead for this book. So he is the person that we are like, are you okay? Are you good? Is this a choice you're making?
He's not okay.
He's not okay. Not at the beginning. No. He's a 36-year-old single dad, and he's going all in for this 29-year-old Teddy. While 7 might be a lucky number to some, I don't know how I feel about that age gap.
My parents are 6 years apart, so I feel like the age gap didn't bother me.
I mean, I think this is a more realistic age gap than
I
what
think so,
we
too.
normally talk about, which
500
is like
years to like 19 years old.
327-year age gap. So 7's not that bad. And they're both old enough to be consenting
Yeah.
adults. And that's something I really appreciated about this book. No one was like 19.
Yeah. I think it's really funny though, because I feel like the author made it like a huge thing to make sure that he didn't seem like he liked her when she was underage. Because I feel like he made a comment somewhere in the book of like, I didn't see her the way that she is now until she was a lot older.
That's true. And I know what comment you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I also think, though, which brings us to one of the points that I have in this book going forward. This is like all the way. This is like one of my last points. Like, what is he actually looking for? Because he didn't really see her as a partner until he saw her as a caretaker. And that's my counseling cap came on and said, no, that's what are your actual expectations on Teddy, and how fair is that to Teddy? And so I think I chose to kind of like conceptualize this from an emotion-focused therapy standpoint. And for those who don't know, emotion-focused therapy is an approach that focuses on the role emotions play in our lives. It's created by Sue Johnson. Shout out, one of the few theoretical orientations that was created by a woman. And it's rooted in attachment theory. The goal of EFT is to help clients develop emotional intelligence and awareness so clients can recognize and express their emotional needs more effectively. And so I don't know how emotionally aware Gus is that he had this like change when he saw her taking care of his kid. He saw her taking care of her own dad, and her dad, oh my gosh, Teddy, I was about to say Riley, but Teddy and her father have a very similar relationship that I think Gus wants with Riley, his daughter, because Teddy, like, the sun sets and the stars shine, and like she just loves her. She's a daddy's girl.
Yes. Been there. Still there.
Currently there for you.
Currently there.
Liz is also a big daddy's girl.
Yeah. I very much related to their relationship in the book, and I thought that was really cool. And I was like, I think surprising, like I have 2 different relationships with my parents on both sides, but I'm still really close to my dad, and there's like some things that I could relate to her that like she's able to talk to about him that like I know friends who don't have that type of relationship with their dad. So it was really cool.
Yeah, no, it seemed like a really healthy relationship. Like they really relied on each other. And there was a point in the book where they scale with each other. They use a counseling technique, scaling. They're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling today? And he'll be like a 3. And she's like, oh no, that's a bad day. Or she'll be like a 7. He's like, great, high five. And so I love that they can do that to conceptualize how they're feeling and recognize that. And that's really, I think, healthy in a relationship, whether that's a parental relationship, a familial relationship, well, those are the same things, or a romantic relationship. I thought that was great. But for Gus, I don't think he stopped and paused and said, I'm having an emotional response to seeing Teddy interact with her father because I want to have that same relationship with my daughter. And so if I'm with Teddy, then I can have that relationship with my daughter. And so I think there's some of that unconscious motivation that's happening. And so if I was their couples therapist, I would be like, tell me more. Let's dive into this. So when you see Teddy interact with her dad, what are you feeling? But I wouldn't say, what are you feeling? Because we don't say that. But I would be like, name an emotion.
What emotions are coming up?
Yeah. Tell me more. Interesting.
I thought it was really interesting too, kind of talking about the like, what is he looking for aspect. I think one of the notes that you had even put in was how easy it is for Teddy to blend in with their family and how convenient that aspect of like, she's already best friends with his little sister, like their dad loves her, like she's already so incorporated into the family that I think it also is just like to me, it almost felt like, okay, this is also almost out of like convenience for him that he's not having to introduce someone new and like having to, you know, hope that this relationship works out with his daughter and his new girlfriend. And so I thought that was really interesting.
I think that's a good point. I think there is a level of convenience that she provides for him because she's also stepping in when he's like officially a single father for the summer and like has to take care of the ranch, take care of his kid. And like he finally comes to a breaking point when he basically forgets to pick up his daughter at soccer practice, which is a low parenting. Like that probably makes you feel bad.
Yeah.
That is totally valid as someone who has been forgotten at a soccer practice more than once. Like as a kid, that sucks too. Shout out, my dad has forgotten to pick me up at a soccer practice, and so I was like, "Oh yeah, that happens. You're really
normal.
You're really beating yourself up over nothing. Your kid will get over it."
They probably won't even remember. Well, you did.
I did. Every time, and your kid will bring it up repeatedly for the rest of their life, but we'll move on somehow.
There you go.
But that breaking point really caused him to recognize that he needed help and support, and Teddy really stepped up and stepped in. And so I think that goes to that convenience aspect. And so also just some line of questioning of like, when you feel this sense of ease, is it because of who Teddy is or what Teddy's doing for you? And I think that's not discussed in books a lot. There's very few people who are like, I love you for you, not because what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
What you bring to the table is great, but if Teddy hadn't stepped up to be a caretaker for Riley, if Teddy hadn't really kind of almost comforted Gus a lot in all of this, would he still feel the same? I think there's a level of attraction, and the book shows that.
For sure. With their first kiss that they had.
With their first kiss, which I also, counselor hat off, personal hat on, my honest reaction to that was, that's shitty, but I'm not going to hold it against someone for the rest. Like,
yeah.
Those are all really big reactions, and Teddy's like, I think fear of abandonment that she's like placing a lot on Gus from that is misplaced. That's probably from her mother, and she needs to deal with that because her mom.
I think her and Clementine, his sister, they talk about their kind of loss of like, she, you know, her mom passed away, and then Teddy's mom was like, here's your kid. I don't want to be in her life. So it's a little bit different, and they talk about it in the book. It's so interesting. I feel like it's talked about like a handful of times, like their loss of like, or not having a mom. And it's so interesting because they're like, yeah, like we use humor to talk about it. It's either we use humor or we cry about it. And I'm like,
girl, cry.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to feel those emotions.
Humor's great. We love humor, but sometimes you need to cry. Like, a huge part of emotion-focused therapy and why I really like it and using it with individuals and with couples is because it doesn't shy away from the emotion. And I think what's so interesting about Lost and Lassoed, which is part of the larger Rebel Blue Ranch novel series, which I do want to continue reading. Like it's interesting. But culturally, it's like a cowboy Western culture, which is like
very traditional.
Don't cry, don't show emotions, buck up, pal. And not just like for women or for guys, but also for the women. Like they're also like, I'm not going to be a stereotypical overly emotional female. And so emotions are not this inherently bad thing that I think culturally they've become. Emotions are indicators for what actions you want to be taking. And they give, which I think is really one of the most important parts of life, it gives you a sense of a weight of something. Like if I feel really good about doing something, it gives me a sense of importance to it. It helps indicate that like I'm on the right path for what I need and what I want to be doing. Now, that's not to say emotions are always 100% facts, right? They are experiences that need to be had. And sometimes we have bad experiences. So take it with a grain of salt. But I think with all of these characters in a lot of ways, and especially in Gus, they are very closed off to the full spectrum of emotions.
Yeah.
And I think Gus can only show, and he's very stereotypical in this way, anger as his emotion. And so I think Gus's anger at the beginning of this book and how angry he is at his situation, at himself, at his family for not being able to handle absolutely everything that's on his plate is a secondary emotion. In EFT, you have primary and secondary emotions. So usually you have this initial reaction, and that initial reaction you don't want to be having. So you have like another reaction to it. And that's the reaction that comes out. So I think Gus is like really angry and it's showing, but that anger is stemming from his own feeling of sadness and insecurity, especially like guilt, his own guilt at like, I forgot to pick up my daughter. I forgot to get the payroll out today. And that guilt is so overwhelming. And instead of just saying like, I feel really bad and guilty about that, he's lashing out, I think, in anger. And that for me was a bit of a red flag because he never took the time to also self-reflect on that.
Yeah.
Which is a big ask of anyone self-reflecting in a romance genre. Absolutely not.
The red flags look like green, you know?
But that's why we're here. We're going to self-reflect for these guys.
Yes. I think it would have been really helpful for Gus to be able to, I think, dive deeper into that guilt and just kind of like feel those emotions and then like, okay, how's that going to affect your behavior now? Rather than lashing out at people, what can you do other than that?
So I think something that would help with that, like a little counseling technique I would use with Gus if he came and was like, I'm really angry. I'd be like, preach, go off.
Same.
Heard. Is to pause. Like that's a big EFT technique.
Big one.
And it's so much easier said than done. Like I feel like sometimes when I say these things, clients are like,
really?
All right, I'm gonna pause this conversation. I'm like, I know. I hear you.
I'm like, when it comes out of my mouth, I'm like, I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds stupid and it sounds pointless.
I also hate meditating. Like, I am not Zen, but we need to get to Zen. I'm with you in that boat, but you need to pause. Yeah. Gus, you need to press pause. And then I would take a deep breath. Breathing's always really important. Pull those shoulders away from your ears. Pull them down. We'll do it together. Pull them down and breathe out. And just say, I am doing my best. This wasn't what I wanted to happen, and I will use it as a learning opportunity. And I am capable of change and will reflect on ways I can move forward.
Period.
And accept, like, that is, I am having a reaction because I am upset with myself. And that pause gives you that time to self-reflect instead of just shoving it right back down.
Instead of just acting like it's not there.
Because it's there.
It's there.
It's always there. That's the problem.
It is.
It doesn't go away.
No. And if you let it boil, the water's going to boil over.
It's going to boil over. And not in like a fun shrimp boil way. You've never had a shrimp boil?
I have, but just that's what you compared it to. It was really random.
You know what? It wasn't that random because I was reading about the new Red Lobster CEO. And he had shrimp boil bags.
He didn't he turn Red Lobster around?
Yeah.
I saw
He turned
that.
Red Lobster around.
I was reading that article.
And he's 35.
Yeah, I know. He's
And what am I doing with my life?
Oh.
He's not bad looking.
We went two different ways.
We did. Well, I said, I want to be that successful. And you said, I want to date him.
I said, I want to marry a man that's successful.
And that's on Lost and Last. No. Yeah, no, I feel like I don't know the Red Lobster CEO, but I would read that romantasy or romantic novel that's about him.
For sure.
I feel like that would be a really good, just young, fresh CEO turning this old restaurant chain around. But he's a ruthless restaurateur and needs a gentle server to unthaw his heart. I don't know.
A good bartender.
Oh, you're right.
Bartender.
Ooh, he's gonna pour his problems out, and she's gonna shoot him back. I don't write the books.
Sounds so intimate and sexual at the same time.
There was sex in this book, and ooh.
I don't know if it's a me thing.
No, I see the tabs. I see the tabs, girl. I think I put love it tab. I have these cute little tabs. One says love this. You know what though? I wrote Gus Ryder can fuck.
And I wrote, I agree.
I think I put fuck.
Because that man can fuck.
I think we both like assertiveness.
He did such a good amount of dirty talking too, where it wasn't too much. Sometimes he go a little overboard on books, right? And I'm like, okay, you're getting cringy now.
That's
but
true, yeah.
But
I also, my other critique, he was so good and he was so assertive and then was like, well, tell me what you want. I'm in the middle of turning my brain off.
I want you to just know what I want.
Yeah, what do you?
I agree.
The entire time you've taken charge, and then it comes to the act, and you're like, "Tell me exactly how you want it, where you want it, exactly what you want me to do with my hands." I was like, "Bro,
that annoyed me." I was like, "Sir, take charge.
This is not the time. You
do what you want with my body right now.
Be the leader you think you are." That's all I'm saying. And lead it to the finish line.
Lead it to the... Agreed.
Don't ask for support right at the end. Because I can't give it then.
I agree.
Teddy can't give it then.
But when he was assertive, I was like, oh,
I know. Oh yeah.
I ate that shit up.
I was with you. I was like, and then she was cracking some jokes.
I know.
Because that's me for real. Just anytime someone's trying to be into, basically, I feel really bad for my partner because he'll try and be really intimate, and then I'll be like, "Dab me up."
My god!
I shouldn't be in a relationship. I should be single.
He said, "Wow, but that was really good. High five."
I think I smack him on the butt after.
So you're the assertive one.
He's also very assertive. We're very happy. His face. He's the producer of this podcast.
I feel like I didn't need to know all that information. You know what I mean?
You already knew that information.
I did. I feel like I know way too much about my friends' sex lives, which is a good thing, though.
I actually feel like, I feel like we know a normal amount about our sex lives.
Except me, I haven't had sex.
Yeah, and I know that.
Because I'm verbal about it.
I mean, I don't give you intimate details. I guess it might have just said. It was more like an abstract.
It more so like painted the outline for me.
But you know me, and you were like, that's on brand for Nora.
No, for sure. It's like that was good, bro. Let's dab each other up now. What we having for dinner?
Oh, he's such a good chef. He cooks for me. He cleans for me. And he cleans up for me. I'm so lucky.
You are. I have no man disturbing my peace, so I'm also lucky.
You are. No man is disturbing your peace. And honestly, I think I was reading this book and I was like, this is Alyssa's type.
I also was reading this book and I was like, I would 100% date this man in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He totally lacks self-empathy. Which is
what are you trying to say?
Which is a skill that needs to be worked on. He has mommy issues.
Perfect.
Also, something that I was annoyed with him by, and I think he will pick his family over
Teddy?
100%.
100%. He did it basically when Teddy and
Emmy got into a fight. And I was like, Alyssa would date this guy. And I get it. Like, if you are...
attacked.
You should. If you are...
My ex did pick...
He wasn't great. He was mean to you.
My ex or Gus?
Gus had some redemption. Like,
he did. I think there's definitely parts. I think another part that really annoyed me is when they had the vet come onto the ranch and check all the horses.
Gosh.
And she was, just like, they're not together, right?
They're not together. They're not together. They have not had a single conversation about this. The closest they've done is hook up and have him make assumptions about that.
Yeah. And so she was flirting with the vet, as she should, because the vet was her ex-situationship.
Yeah. She consummated that relationship.
And my favorite part was when Gus was like, why is he even wearing a cowboy hat? Why is he wearing cowboy boots? I literally was laughing out loud because I was like,
facts.
I was like, he doesn't work. He doesn't work on a ranch. He doesn't do a working job.
I mean, the man goes out to ranches to check
I feel
on
like
horses.
boots are kind of valid though in his line of work.
I feel like everyone wears boots now.
Me too.
I don't own a, but like
You should own a pair.
I have lived in Texas long enough. I should own a pair of actual boots. And that's on my list. But like, even when I moved to Oklahoma, I didn't get boots because
That's also crazy.
I didn't want to seem like
a poser.
Yeah. Because I am a city person.
You are.
Are you kidding me? Horses are terrifying. They're beautiful from afar. Like,
I love horses.
And you own boots.
I do.
You own boots. You took boots to Scotland.
They're comfortable.
So are tennis shoes.
I brought tennis shoes.
That's true. We all brought footwear.
Anyways, back to Gus. He peed me off because she was flirting with the vet. And then he got all pissy about it. And rather than talking to her like a grown-ass 36-year-old man should.
Communication is usually key. That's another big
He
counseling
just
tip.
like
Communicate.
shuts her down. And she's over here like, now she's in her head and overthinking everything because she's like, well, what the fuck? We had sex and now you're treating me like shit.
So this is such a great point you brought up because I'm gonna conceptualize this again with EFT because he refuses to feel his emotions about this.
Yeah.
He is genuinely hurt. And he is hurt by Teddy because he feels rejected. He feels a sense of rejection. And so that he's like, I'm upset by this. I'm hurt by this. And instead of processing it and feeling it and having a conversation about it, he rejects those feelings of rejection, thinking that this double negative is going to make a positive, but it doesn't. It just increases negative emotions. And then he ices her out. Like throws a little temper tantrum, doesn't talk to her.
Nope.
Doesn't communicate.
Nope.
Shuts the door off, like physically shuts the door on. He's like, I'm going to my room.
He doesn't even tell her.
Yeah, just
He just goes.
that she has to go open the door like this is and be like, what the heck? You need to talk to me.
I was like, okay, Teddy, pop off.
yeah, no, good
I'm
for
like,
her.
at least you're communicating.
Yeah.
You know how many books piss me off though at the fact that like so many third act breakups wouldn't happen if they just communicated.
I don't think the romance genre would exist if they just communicated.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
The book I just recommended to you.
Oh god.
I know that's our next episode. I'm gonna keep teasing it because if they just communicated.
Communication is key.
Communication is key.
So third act breakups are okay in romance book, guys, but maybe let's not have third act breakups in our actual relationships.
Because this is my point. If you are brave enough to say you love someone, then you need to be brave enough to be able to talk to that person.
Period.
You need to be able to face that fear of rejection, which is scary, totally scary. And like they may leave you, but if you really love them, then you trust that they are going to do what's best for the relationship. And that genuinely might be, I'm going to leave. But it also probably is going to be like, oh, I didn't know you were feeling that way.
Yeah.
Let's have an honest and open conversation about that. And that's just not, that's just not Gus. My low point for Gus in this whole book was actually right at the beginning when Gus says, and I quote, all city folks are fucking idiots. I actually rolled my eyes, so don't me. As a city folk, I'm not a fucking idiot, just an idiot. Y'all hear me? Anyway,
You're right.
but
I laughed at that part.
I like sighed and just was like,
I feel
pure
like that's
disappointment.
such a typical though, like country.
I've literally
folk
heard
thing.
a guy say it
Yeah,
in Oklahoma and in Texas. I have heard
these damn
boys,
city folks.
yeah. Oh, these city slickers. I literally heard someone say city slickers one time, and I said, ugh. But these city folk don't know what the fuck they're talking about. These city folk coming in. I'm like, we live in one of the largest cities in Texas, and Texas is home to some of the largest cities in the United States. Just pointing that out. Y'all are city folk too. Anyway, that's on my frustration with people who hate city folk because I feel hurt by it because I'm a city person.
We can tell.
My high point of the book was when Teddy called Gus after her fight with Emmy, which low point, Gus was like, man, it sucks that my girlfriend and my sister are fighting. What a bummer. But
I do appreciate though that he didn't step in. I think that is a relationship.
because he got told not to,
Yeah.
basically.
But he listened. Most men have selective hearing, so
I appreciated him in that moment because he was so excited for her to call him. And like I wrote down the line she said. She asked, "Do you have time to talk something through with me?" I grinned because it felt so ordinary, but also a big step toward a relationship that felt real, the type of relationship that would last. And so I appreciated that he really liked just this mundane, hey, I'm having an issue. Can I turn to you? And he was like, yes, I recognize that is good for our relationship and good, and that I can help you in this time. Although, did he? No. But but I do love that Teddy and Emmy were both like, we'll work this out ourselves.
yeah, we're fine.
Just let me think.
I think one thing that was really cool too in the book is I feel like you saw a really healthy co-parenting relationship. And I will say that Gus and the mother to his daughter, Cam, I think had a really good co-parenting relationship. And I think Teddy being able to like openly talk about that with Gus being like, do you still have feelings for her? Is that family something that you still wish you would have had? I think is an important conversation to have before jumping into a relationship with a single father like that. Because I think that is important. Like, if you do have lingering feelings for, you know, the mother of your children, it makes sense. Like, that's, you know, who you could have pictured things with and like a family. And he was like, no. He was like, I like our situation now. And I thought it was really cool too, Cam being like, I'd love to have Teddy as a bonus parent. And she's like, I love seeing you in love. And so she was just like, I'm happy that you're finally like basically opening up your doors for someone else. And I thought that was really cute.
I agree. I was like, Cam is so secure.
So secure.
So secure. Which I'm sure in the next book, Wild and Wrangled.
I want to read
hers.
it because the end of Lost and Lassoed.
Because the end of Lost and Lassoed sets up for Wild and Wrangled, which coincidentally we got at that we went to a country themed book night at a bookstore, and that's
a local bookstore. Support your local bookstores.
Support your local bookstores, and that's what we picked up. And coincidentally, I hadn't read the previous one, but I went and bought the next one. Anyway, I also really love that Cam was like, Gus, this is a real deal. Teddy is so good with Riley. And
so supportive.
I would totally be happy for her to be a bonus parent. And I love that they said bonus parents, because I think, like, I don't have step parents and I haven't had personal experience with that. And I would just imagine that would be really hard. Like, I also don't have kids, but if I did have a kid and like something happened where like someone else would come in and parent my kid, like I could see myself being very combative.
No, for sure.
And she was so open to it and like really respectful. And so I like that Gus also had a pause though about it. Like this, I do think Gus takes his parenting very seriously.
Yeah.
Which green flag, love, super, super great. I think he really wants to provide as good of a life for his daughter as he can. And I really love that. But I think it's hard, and they didn't touch on this, to kind of merge families. And even though Teddy and Riley really get on, like Riley's young and she might, you know, start to see her dad hanging out with Teddy more, and that can threaten their relationship. And then she doesn't know how to handle that. So just being able to have those healthy conversations, I think, with Riley and set those boundaries with her and know like it's not you, it's just this is a new relationship. So like Thursday nights are always going to be
you and me.
Yeah, you and me, because our relationship is still special.
Yeah.
Or and then he has to do the same thing with Teddy. Like he has to have those boundaries with both of them to create balance, because also I don't want to, and I'm going to say this in a way, like, I don't know the best way to say it, but like, I don't want to be second fiddle to the kid all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I also want to be a priority. Like, I want us to both be priorities.
Oh, I think it's important that you model the way that you treat a woman in front of your daughter, because I think it's important for them then to grow up of like, okay, no, what you're doing to me is not what my dad would have done for my mom or my stepmom, whatever.
Yeah. And modeling's huge for kids. I think Gus did a good job of that. So even at the beginning when he's really anti-Teddy, he was never anti-Teddy in front of his daughter. And even as they started to explore their relationship, he tried to keep it, and kids are perceptive. They can like, please give kids more credit, but at least he tried. He tried to keep it out of
I thought it was really funny that in the scene in the book, they were FaceTiming, or Cam had FaceTimed them, and Riley was showing a picture that she drew, and Gus and Teddy were holding hands. And Cam, her mom was like, what are Gus and Teddy doing? And they were like, holding hands. They do that sometimes. And they thought they were keeping it like under wraps. They were not. And I thought that was...
It was cute.
Yeah.
It was cute. And so I do think Gus does a good job modeling like respecting women, but I also need him to do a good job of like respecting himself
I agree.
and his own emotions. Like he's working himself so hard, putting the weight of the world on his shoulders and really tamping down on a lot of feelings. And by not having that healthy relationship with his own experiences and his own feelings, he's modeling that for Riley.
Yep.
And I think as you watch Gus's character open up more, he never actually pauses and self-reflects, which is going to be a huge thing that I'm always going to encourage someone to do. Take a beat.
I think the only time he really gets close to doing it is when Cam's going to pick up Riley at the end of the book, and she like sits down with him and is like, so like, what's going on with you? Like making him sit there and explain what he's feeling.
Also like he needed someone else to do that.
The fact that
for
someone
him,
else had to.
which is a bigger like, but it's good that he has those people in his life.
Yeah.
That's also so important. Like he has set up a lot of great relationships in his life, and so I really hope, and I think Teddy is another one of those relationships. Like I don't think this is necessarily a completely unhealthy example of a relationship. Of all of the books we've read, I'm not as concerned about this couple as I have been for some other couples.
Agreed. I will say though, it's just my own preference though. I thought it was a very interesting timeline on like how fast they got engaged and then how fast they were trying for a kid.
Oh my gosh, too
because
fast.
she like got off birth, like it talked about her being off birth control, and I was just like, damn.
And I wonder,
you gonna breathe?
Well, she has to catch up to all of her friends. I like how much of this is like culturally
that too. I think
thing.
it's a huge like
all of her friends are married or about to get married. He already has
kids,
a kid.
Yeah.
Her dad is dying. She probably wants to give her dad.
She feels
a
like she's on like
grandkid.
almost like a fast paced timeline.
And I
like
mean,
sped up.
They've known each other, but I will say like a point where I think Gus had some actual reflection. I don't know if it was necessarily self-reflection, but reflection that I appreciated was when his best friend opens the bar and like Teddy's in her like silver jumpsuit and he like for the first time like sees her engaging in a crowd, and instead of being like she's too loud, she's too annoying, which is how he normally would think of her, he was like, wow, she really works the room.
Everyone wants her.
I get to have her, which is his own thing. But I think what I really liked is he said this persona of her is her armor, and she shows her armor to the world, but I get to see her heart. And I was like, dang.
That was really good.
Aww.
And then he kissed her in front of everyone.
And I said, oh, you're special.
He's like, they can all look. I'm going home with her. Or she's the one going home with me.
Yeah. And like, I will say for a macho dude who's like, I think tries to give off alpha male energy as without sounding like ironic or like insensitive. Yeah. I think that's big for him.
I agree.
I think he was like,
I think too, it's very like opposite of like what a traditional wife is supposed to be like too. In a sense of like in a lot of these cultures, like you're supposed to be quiet. You're supposed to be timid. Like you're not supposed to, you know, be loud, loud, outgoing person.
Start fights in bars.
And
be drunk,
riding a bull
in front of everyone in your shiny jumpsuit. And your gorgeous hair.
I think it's really cool that he accepted like almost both sides of her, like her, the one that she shows to everyone else, and then the one that she shows behind closed doors.
And I think that reflects the security he feels in their relationship. And he's like, I know Teddy and I know her as a person and I know our relationship.
Yeah.
And that I felt like was really good growth. So I think we covered a lot of really good things here.
I think so too. Are we going to rate our flags?
I was going to say, first, are we going to rate him? Is he hot or is it trauma?
He's hot.
I think he's hot.
He's hot.
He's hot.
He can fuck me anytime.
I think Teddy's going to fight you on that. And she will. She'll fight you.
She would.
Okay, flag rating. For me, would read 3 green flags.
Yeah. I think 3 green flags.
Mm-hmm.
I almost thought about 4, but I think after going back and really looking at some of the stuff and more so putting my counselor hat on, I'm like, no, it's a good 3.
It's a good 3. He's made progress.
Mm-hmm. There could be more.
There could be more pausing, more self-reflecting, more acknowledging the emotions that he's feeling
Mm-hmm.
and being able to have conversations
Yes.
with the people who are bringing up those emotions. Then I would have given him 4.
I agree.
But no red flags. I think the red flags we saw, I think he worked on and was forced to recognize they were issues. But I think the writing was really good. It was a cute story.
Yeah.
It was cute.
I was giggling and kicking my feet.
Kickling.
I was kickling.
It's a kickler. It's
It
a
was
good
a
one.
kickler.
Which is giggling and kickling combined. Kickling. It's cute. So overall, I would say, yeah, pick it up. And
It's a good read.
Lost and Lassoed. And if you get a chance to read Wild and Wrangled, let us know how that is, because we haven't read it yet.
Send us your green flags.
Send us your green flags. And don't forget, stay reading.
Stay reading.